high-ranking underworld figure Peter VAIUSU, leader of Bloodline, who is now on a journey of redemption, shares his experience and story on the fallout between Bikey national presidents Mick Hawi and Buddle.
He passed away and Buddles. Those were the three things that everybody really wanted to talk about, yeah? I think I'm gonna go with my brother Mick Hawi and Buddle's relationship. Thank you, love ya. So obviously everybody knows Mark Buddles. He's on the news every day. They brought him back here to Australia and charged him with moving kilos. A lot of Comancheros that went on with their lives was because they didn't want to side with Buddles. They wanted to side with Mick Hawi, but also a lot of guys that stayed on with Mark Buddles was because Mark Buddles was a moneymaker, yeah? Mick Hawi was inside prison, he couldn't do much, and they literally took the rank off him, and they did what needed to be done. Yes, Ferris, whoever Tubes, Ferris was a big Comanchero as well. He also got shot, and that brother passed away as well. Ferris was also a part of my case. Ferris, Mick Hawi, hence the reason why they put me down as a Comanchero associate, which I never was. I had never been involved with bikies in my life. Brian, love you also. Sarah, thank you very much. But meeting up with Mick Hawi when I got out of prison, my brother was still cut from losing his rank, obviously because he gave a lot of his love and loyalty to his crew. And so goes the same thing that I talk about every single week when I'm reaching out to all you kids and young adults. Mick Hawi's closest brothers that he brought into the game, that he brought up into the, and made them underworld figures, they were the ones that turned on him when he was locked up in prison. But at the same time, I was with Mark Buddles at Wellington prison, and I remember asking him when I was there, I go, bro, why did you turn on the brother Mick Hawi? I thought you guys were very close, you know, like everyone's saying that, well, not everyone, but the media was saying that he was now president. And I said to him, I thought that you two were like, were unbreakable, you know? And this is exactly what Mark Buddle said to me that Wellington prison. He goes, look, Pete, you're not in the bikie world, so I'm just going to tell you straight, because I get along with your brother and I have no issues with your boys and that. He goes, but Mick is very stubborn, you know, like I love him. He will always be my president. I will always love him. He goes, but I tried to tell him to let us have the ranks so we can control the boys, because none of the boys outside were listening. When orders were being put forward, they all wanted to hear it from Mick's mouth, Mick's mouth, Mick's mouth. So he was saying to me, that's the reason why they had to do what needed to be done in order to take control of the crew, you know? So at the end of the day, he did what needed to be done. They blew up and made good money, and their crew was tight, but I wouldn't say it was as family orientated as it was when the brother Mick Hawi was running it, because when he was running it, honestly, I was growing up and I was coming to the city and King's Cross when the Comos, I would consider, would be the most dangerous gang in Australia. They weren't the biggest, the rebels were the biggest, but the Comancheros, to me, when I was coming up, was the most dangerous because they did not care about anyone. I'm going to tell you all a story, yeah, about Mark Buddles when I got into King's Cross. He was in a club, and this club belonged to the Ibrahim's, yeah? And when they walked in, they were told they weren't allowed to be in the club. The boys pushed their way through and they partied and carried on with the night. And then when so-called heavies for the Ibrahim's tried to like talk to them nicely and said, boys, look, you have to go, like cause too much havoc tonight. Like the police are going to be caught and whatnot. It's not from us. It's not from the Ibrahims. And not like the manager that's in charge today is asking you guys to leave. Guess what Buddles did? He jumped up, on top of the bar, and he pulled his thing out and he started pissing all over the bar. This is how ruthless the Combos were back then when I knew them. You know, like they did not care about nothing. Like you could be the biggest, you could be the one that makes the most money, but they just did not care about anyone. Even if you had a reputation, they were coming at you and they weren't gonna step. Even when another crew called Rock Machines came around, a few of my guys were very close with the Rock Machines. And as soon as the Rock Machines started putting their clubhouses in like Brighton the Sands, it wasn't a clubhouse, but it was really like where they kicked back at Brighton the Sands, Leichhardt, started trying to establish themselves in the city. Like, I was there when it happened, so I'm not freaking blowing smoke up yous. The Combos came around and Rock Machine died out. Yo, love ya, who was that? What the hell? Did you see that big word that came out? So, yeah, during Mick Hawi's time, from what I saw, the Comancheros were very family orientated. When Mick Hawi got taken out of the picture and Buddles took control with two other brothers who I'm not going to mention, it wasn't as family orientated, but they were still powerful. And this time, they were all about money making, not much of violence. Yeah, love ya. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. So when I got out of prison, obviously every single one of you know that my brother Mick Hawi got killed, yeah? But I don't know if you guys know this, but the person who was accused of shooting Mick Hawi, he was so close to Mick that it wasn't funny. I'm going to tell you a story, yeah? Yui, who this is his name, yeah? He had nothing, like he's got a beautiful family, but he was not really a part of the gang world. Like he was like every other wannabe gangster, tatted up and everything, but not really about it, yeah? Just throws his weight around. When Mick Hawi took him under his wing, he showed him big love. Like everything and anything Yui wanted, he got. And this is a story that I'll never forget, yeah? Mick Hawi was sitting there and he had a watch on. This watch was worth like $30,000. Yui turned around and just admiring, he said to me, "Wow, brother, I love your watch, bro. I can't wait to get me one of those. I can't wait to get me one of those." Guess what Mick Hawi did? No other boss would ever do this, yeah? Like, not even best friends would do this. It's a $30,000 watch. Mick Hawi took his watch off his hand, grabbed Yui's arm, and he put it on him. And he said, "Brother, this is yours now." This is how Mick Hawi was. And the reason why I want to highlight this fact is because every underworld boss that I have come across and I have spoken to about this situation, every single one of them have said the same thing. It was a shit go what happened to Mick Hawi, because when the brother ever had any issues, he was the type to walk up and confront the situation by himself. Rock Ahmed said it best. I remember him saying to me, "Bro, there was no need for them to kill him. This guy, like, oh, I love ya. Look at all these shooting stars. I don't know what it means, but I love ya. Thank you very much." And Rock Ahmed said to me that every time a situation occurred between the Combos and anyone else, Mick Hawi would never come with his crew. He would always turn up by himself. Why? Because he never wanted, Atta, thank you very much. He never wanted war. He always used to mediate peace, you know. I'm going to explain to you the situation that happened with him and Yui. I'm not going to lie, like, there was issues going on with them two before the brother Mick Hawi passed away. Now, I'm not the type to say anything that will incriminate anyone. That's what my platform's about. I'm trying to teach the youngsters and the young adults what to keep away from, yeah? And this right here is the perfect situation, because Mick Hawi took Yui under his wing, just like I took the younger islanders under his wing. And then Yui turned around and killed him. Just like the younger islanders, they turned around and tried to get at me because they wanted to take over the yard and they wanted to be the king of the yard. Yeah. The difference is I had no money, so I didn't shower anyone with the gifts that Mick Hawi showered his people with. Yeah. And he would always give and give from his heart, not wanting anything in return. Like, look what he did for me. To get my brother and the boys out, like, he's the one that secured the $4 million for me to try and get my brother and the boys out of prison. But I'll get to that story after, yeah? The thing that yous don't know, and I bet you any money that the cops and the screws know it, because in Segra at Silverwater, the screws used to hide around the corner and listen to all the boys' conversations, yeah? And I don't know how it worked, but when Yui went to trial, he beat the charges, AD beat the charges, like, good on them. They beat the charges because there was no evidence to show that they killed Mick, yeah? But listen to this. When I was there, Yui was shouting at the top of his lungs, yeah? I love ya. Ziggy, appreciate you, my man. Nikas, love yous. He was shouting at the top of his lung, saying, I killed Mick Hawi, so any of you motherfuckers that's here in Segra right now that's got a problem, he goes, speak up, because what I did to Mick will be 10 times different to what I do to you and your family. This is the exact words he said. And I was like shocked, because I was like, bro, they could be recording you. Like, what the hell is wrong with this bloke? Like, he was just speaking out of school, but not about anyone else. He was speaking out of school about his own case. He didn't care. Like, that's how ruthless in the head Yui was, you know? This guy, every week he said something that highlighted the fact that he killed Mick Hawi. Like, I'm not saying he did because he beat the charges, but it came out of his mouth. The bloke has passed away now, so I'm happy to reveal this. And it wasn't just me that heard it. Every single person in Segro heard it, and I guarantee you, every officer that was at Silverwater, Segro, taking care of it, all heard it as well. Then there was a situation between Yui and his co-offenders, because they all got charged, yeah? Yui was telling everyone that AD was a dog because he mentioned his name in paperwork, and then the Telegraph outed AD. But guess what? After the Telegraph outed AD for this paperwork that AD was that Yui was talking about a week. It was only a week, yeah. The Telegraph came out with another story saying that AD did not snitch Yui in, and these are the reasons why, and they explained the reasons why. Like, I read through it, and the newspaper were right. What AD did and the paperwork that was done in order for him to be able to mention Yui's name, it was all locked in place. So Yui could never have been charged for anything more, and he could have never gone down for Mick Hawi's murder, because the only person who could harm was AD. That's why he did what he did, and that's why his legal team advised him to do it that way. But Yui was upset at the fact that AD made this move without asking, because Yui considered AD a brother. But listen to this. AD AD ended up going home, and the rest of their boys that was involved, yeah. But Yui was still talking shit about everyone, like not only Mick Hawi, but also the boys that he got arrested with, yeah. And the day Yui was released, he went and got a tattoo of AD's name and a tattoo of Eric the Lone Wolf and another guy who I'm not going to explain. And then he went and he apologized to AD for throwing him under the bus, and he apologized to a few other boys that he was ranting on about. And his excuse was he was high on drugs while he was in prison, and that's the reason why he said what he said. Obviously, AD forgave him because everybody knows Yui. He's all mouth, you know. But with the situation with Mick Hawi and Buddles, it was a sad fallout. I love ya. Thank you very much, G. You guys. The situation with those two boys was sad because obviously it was a major breakdown. But at the same time, when Mick was in prison, all he heard was his boys' names elevating, and he was stuck in prison, struggling to pay off legal fees and struggling to get people to take care of his wife and kids. And I know for a fact there were a few people, including love you, G, love you, Lisa. Thank you very much. There were a few people that went out of their way to take care of Mick Hawi's funeral. Mick Hawi's family while he was locked up. And those few people, love you, thank you very much. My man, Sean, thank you, G. And those people were also his lawyers. They also took care. Oz Underworld, thank you. They took care of his family as well. So you have to think about it, yeah? How did the biggest gangster in Australia get locked up and then get left with it? I'm asking this to all you young guys out there and to all the young adults. This is the biggest gangster in Australia. Moneymaker, Ruthless crew, untouchable. And mind you, he had been shot at a few times, so it's not like he hadn't been through war. Like, yeah, Mick Hawi was the type of brother who would want to sort it out peacefully, but he was also the type that if somebody wanted war, like, he was more than happy to do it, you know? But that would be the last resort. His priority, I love you, thank you very much. His priority was to keep money coming in for him and his boys. He wasn't about violence. So it was sad to see that the way it ended. I was with the brother to the end. So a week. There was a week where Mick Hawi called me to a meeting, yeah? Love you, thank you very much, Reeve. 444. Daniel, thank you. Mick Hawi called me to a meeting and he said, 1, 2, 3, bro, I got a feeling that that someone's gonna try to kill me. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, there's people putting my name out there and saying that they're gonna kill me, and I heard $1 million is on my head. Me being me, I said to him, bro, JS, thank you, my man. Daniel, thank you. 011, thank you, my man. When he told me this, I said to Mick, being me, bro, get them before they get you, you know? My man with the whale. Jake, love ya. It's a lie, thank you. I didn't know what to do because my reaction to violence would always be to react more violent, yeah? But I was trying to change my life and I was trying to go straight. But for the brother Mick Hawi, I was willing to go all out. But I didn't know what his situation was because I'm not a bikie, and he's the one that was involved in bikie related stuff. And I told him from the beginning, do not get me involved in bikie related stuff. You know, like, I got along with Buddle's side and I got along with Mick, but Mick was the one that I considered family, you know? So when I told him, I go, bro, just do what needed to be done. He said, no, I I can't. Because, brother, the people that's throwing my name around, I don't have no issue with them. I would rather go and sit and speak, ask them what the issue is, talk it out like men, and then leave it at that. Because I don't want to go to war for no reason, especially when I didn't do anything wrong. Guess what happened? I said, all right, do it your way, brother. And I go, look, if it was me, I would turn as soon as I hear my name, but this is you, you know? So I hugged him, gave him a kiss, and I said to him, I got to go to Hong Kong for business, and I'll see him when I get back. A week after I left, the brother got shot at the gym, as you all know. It's all over YouTube, Google, you know? So rest in peace to my brother Mick Hawi. He was a gentleman, and everyone in the underworld, every gangster that you can think of, have nothing but good to say about him.